Oh, sorry. Hello. My name is Prolix or Adam. I am casting matches for Kinetic Leagues and other leagues, and I am a self-proclaimed Xbox Call of Duty master. And how about you, Mr. Host?
Uh, I'm Zaps, aka Tony. I'm now Season 3 champion of Kinetic Leagues and the League MVP. Self proclaimed humbled
Hmm.
individual helping everyone find a team.
Very, very nice of you. So, just obviously, as a basic addition to the podcast, we will have to mention that we do again have a champion in the call. Mr. Season 3 MVP, Zaps, won it with Cynical. How did it feel to just like, in the fashion you guys won, two best of fives, down in losers bracket, resetting the bracket and everything? Did it just feel business as usual, or was
Huh?
it like a special win? Is what I'm basically trying to ask.
Well, it was a really special win. It was just. I had this motto. I didn't want to be like the Buffalo Bills. That's what I said. The Bills went to three Super Bowls versus the Cowboys, and they lost all three. I wasn't trying to go to 3 seasons of KO and not win a single season. So,
I get it. So, anyways, your
yes.
came came in first. You 3-0 first time. So
3
after
1.
that first
3
best of
1.
five, you're sort of 3-1. My apologies. What map did you guys drop?
First hard point, breakout hard point.
Mm-hmm. And actually, if you don't mind, who'd you guys play? It was.
We played Informal Red consisting of Chili's, iChabs, Flashify, and It's Ivane.
So you play against that squad, which is again is a very talented squad of four guys. You have Slash, who just, I mean, he runs it with the K bar. Very, very talented player. You've got Ivane, obviously regarded as one of the better players on Xbox One. Um, Chabs and Chili's, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Chili's is taking a break from COD
We'll say it's a
for now.
break, yeah. We can call it a break.
You know, not positive if he's going to be returning or not. But regardless, um,
He will be
now that
running
we've gotten all
NWR
that
soon.
out of the way, let's really get to the juicy stuff. So we've got a couple big leagues coming up. I'm pretty sure that's next on the list, unless it's not.
Yes,
Zaps is supposed to be the host, but
it's
I
the
guess,
list. Yeah, it's
it's
next
what
on the
I'm
list.
doing.
So,
You can go ahead and
we
host
have
if you'd
the
like.
KL Summer Season League, which is another very highly anticipated league for many players. We're looking
Obviously,
forward
one
to
of
it.
the more prestigious leagues.
We have the Vulcans OLT League coming up soon, hosted by yours
Hmm.
truly, Prolixico. Great league. He always runs well each
Um,
week.
yeah,
We have
we're really trying to go for some of the. Sorry to cut you off, but we're really trying to go for just about the most professional league Xbox we can really for Xbox we can really offer. That's stats. We're trying to be fair to everyone. There's gonna be no favoritism, nothing, no controversy. Because obviously, I mean, Kinetic Leagues is great, and I love Rob, and he's a great owner. But there definitely were some controversial things last year, especially him having his own team in the league, a bunch of stuff like that. Just all stuff that we really do want to avoid at Vulcan's OLT. We don't want to be in a league that like people will look at and be like, "Oh, that's a joke." Like, you know what I mean? We want to really just cater to the players, and we want to be the best and most professional league that we can on Xbox One, and maybe one day branch out. But the truth is, we want to stick to our roots. So, for now, that's those are the two leagues, and then we have some more coming up as Zaps
Well,
will
well,
soon
we want to
announce.
talk about the prize pool for the Vulcans OLT League.
So the prize pool to start will be $100. Not huge, but it's a start. It's
Same as
going
KL
to be
Season
split
3.
80-20 between 80-20 between first and second place. So first place will win $20 each. Second place will win 5 each. Or however it's distributed, hopefully fairly, but you know, you never know. And that's $100. our projections for season 2, hoping how things goes, is we're gonna have 12 teams in, and we're gonna be going for a $15 pay-in with an addition of a $20 pay-in from me. That should come out to around $175, and we want to keep on growing from there. We want our prize pools to keep on getting bigger, more competition come in. It's gonna be a fun time, guys. I really hope you guys are there.
So you heard it from Adam. That'll be a great league. You should definitely enter his league, the KL Summer League, as well as some of the other ones we're about to mention. I know Nova Leagues is hosting one. I'm not sure of the payout, but they did a qualifier last Friday. So if you didn't get in there, maybe there's still another last chance qualifier. Who knows? That should be a great
yes.
league.
That reminds me. So the Vulcans OLT League, obviously, like I don't mean to harp on my own league, but it's obviously the one that I know the most about. If you would like, you can check it out at Vulcans OLT. It's a $5 buy-in, 16 teams for the first season. Pay deadline is June 15th, but since some teams obviously are still in school or still working for now, we want to try and be as flexible as we possibly can. So there is a possibility that will be gone a little bit later, but we are planning to kick things off for the first matches on June 23rd. That is the plan, and we hope you guys will all be there for that. So just letting you guys know if anybody watches this and is interested in playing.
Okay. And I think the final league we have is the Aporia Circuit League, which that is, I don't know how many teams are going to get to enter from Xbox One, but that is going to be an insane league. $5,000 prize
That's
pool.
Going to be a fun one.
That
is going to be a fun one. I cannot wait.
A $250 team pass. I think that's where we're going to see the greatest teams. If you can't hang, I don't think you want to purchase a $250 team pass.
It's true. I think how much money's on the line right now for Xbox One? $5,200. This is a lot of money. This is probably the most money we've seen for the Xbox scene since MLG left it.
Yeah. So, with that out of the way,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, this summer will be a great summer for competitive Call of Duty. Not trying to go back to the leagues, but we were third on the IW streams yesterday for KL Finals. So that's
incredible too. Real recognition for our scene.
With that out of the way, let's just talk about rosters and things. So, before we start about rosters, I'll start with some of the up and comers I haven't really seen or are coming back to competitive Call of Duty on the Xbox One. I see Static is coming back through Armor Esports, and I haven't seen much of them. I know him and Barcy are coming back, and I know they left competitive COD on the Xbox around February. So it's great to see them back. Always big-time players under a big-time org.
A lot of players coming back for all this money this summer. Going to be an incredible fun time. I'm going to be casting a bunch. We're going to have a lot of casters. A lot of oldies are going to be coming back. It's going to be a great time. Also, just to get it out, obviously we have the Cynical roster, the reigning champs right now on Xbox. You've got Zaps, you've got Yaffe, you've got the new addition of Bilge, and you have, I don't know why I'm blanking on your fourth, Brady. You have that squad. That squad right now is the squad to beat. You have Informal Red, which is Ivane. You've got Slashfire on that team. I guess they are looking for one at the moment, unless you know something that I don't, Zaps, about a possible roster move there.
I believe they've picked up Dubcrane, but I'm not 100% sure on that decision. I know they were screwing with him earlier with some
Dubcrane.
DG Dubcrane. He came off of the Omega Gaming US roster. I believe that roster is split up now, actually.
So let's talk notable free agents, because this will be interesting for us to talk about. We've got, obviously...
we have Astro VT off of Omega Gaming. Great player. Maybe a possibly toxic attitude. Never know. That could change. We have Dat Guy Doughboy, who was dropped off of Cynical recently. We have Chili's, who possibly may be a free agent. We are not 100% sure on that. He is currently playing PS4 Xbox One MWR, but that could change at any time. We have INV Shade, big time player from Black Ops 3, who we recently have.
who else? What's some other free agents we have? You know some other free agents we have. We've got I'm pretty sure Hyper is a free agent right now, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
I believe he's just looking for a team. Yes.
And we've got Trillo, I believe. I think his name is a newer young gun. We've got a lot of new teams coming in. If you want to give us a couple names there, Zaps, because I'm not truly familiar with those teams.
So we have, I believe it is Vizzy Gaming, consisting of I2 Simple, DFWU Rain. I'm drawing a blank on their other two. We just scrimmed them, so I might check my recent players if I can. Aces NX and Empathy COD. Empathy COD.
So that's a roster that could possibly make some noise. I mean, let's talk rosters that can make some noise in these upcoming leagues, especially the Aporia circuit, just because of the sheer amount of money that's going into it. Although we don't know exactly who's getting in and who's not, but I assume Cynical's getting in. I would assume teams like Informal are getting in, stuff like that. I mean, who are these teams that can really come out and possibly take some series off these top squads and possibly even win the whole thing?
We have Crixus' team, who is Crixus FPS. We see team with it's him, Vertigo, Sepetry Guns, and Half Olympian. They're the team. They're definitely a top team. They knocked us into losers bracket in the KO. Actually no, I'm wrong there. My apologies. It was Informal Red who had knocked us in, but they had beaten us 3-0 during the regular season. We then 3-0 them in playoffs, but they are a team that shows potential. They definitely could win and make some noise.
I mean,
Red
a lot of teams to go in. Yeah. I think obviously your favorites right now going into all these leagues has to be Cynical, just based off their placing, but you can attest to this, Zaps. It was not always easy for your run.
Yeah, the toughest matches we honestly had were AS1 and Informal Red. AS1 we played
AS1
is Repeat, Hulk Melt, Nasty, and Slayer. They gave us the best run for money.
I think we should talk about that for a second. Just how good some of those players. Repeat played out of his mind during the playoffs. While they were playing, sadly, Repeat did have some difficulties, could not play the final couple series, but while he was playing, Repeat was an animal, man. Same with Gonicity, I believe his name is pronounced, Gonicity. Yeah, just absolute animal. You had Bilge playing. Hyper, very talented COD player, but he was having a couple rough series here and there. I mean, so much big talent, so much great Call of Duty that was played, especially that final series, that Informal Red, that second best of 5 Informal Red versus Cynical series. Incredible fun series to watch. So much high-level Call of Duty being played.
The best series, I think, honestly, was probably us versus AS1. Not trying to promote myself, but if you look up XZaps, XHD on YouTube, we had an incredible comeback, map 5 in losers bracket versus AS1, 2-5 comeback, and I think they're one of the top rosters. They're one of the top rosters to look for. You may not think so, but they are. Nasty as a player
obviously,
that can explode anyway.
Yeah. Because you have Brady. I mean, Brady was going off. Like, the truth is, Cynical, their only they have two struggles sometimes. Sometimes their S&D can be shaky, but very much so their uplink. In that second best of 5 that you guys played against Informal, you won your worst uplink map, well, quoted worst uplink map, Precinct, 18-2.
It was just, we kind of realized we had nothing left to lose. We were all kind of mad at ourselves because we know we shouldn't have went down 0-2. I was having some internet problems map 2, but Brady popped the joke. If the Warriors can choke a 3-1, why can't they choke an 0-2? And you know, we kind of just thought about everything we did, and we were like, we're not going to sit here and get 3-0'd and lose it here, and we just all exploded.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously, you guys had a roster change. You guys switched out Doughboy, very talented player, to Bilge. Now, Bilge, would you say he's working well within your team now?
Yes. It was our first days playing Variant with Bilge. We've been playing S&D with Bilge now for 2 to 3 weeks, so that's why our S&D was really strong with him when we played yesterday, and all the times we play a lot of chows together. I think we're working really well with Village. He just adds more slaying power than we already had, and it kind of gives us a ease of mind in case someone has a bad game. We don't have to worry because we know the others will pick it up, kind of like an optic situation.
And then, of course, we have the All-Star team that Kinetic League's put together. You've got Zaps, you've got yourself, and then you have, I believe it's Ivane, Repeak, and...
Nasty. AS1 Nasty.
And Nasty. For, I mean, I myself would not be opposed to seeing that team, like, just play a best of 5 for a little bit of cash against the other top 4 going into there. I mean, that would be a very fun series to watch. I'm not sure how, like, the players would feel about it, but I mean, I would put some money up just to see some very high-level COD being played between those guys, whatever 8 guys were picked.
I don't think it would be that bad either. I think that's a really good roster. Obviously, there'd be some issues, but I think it was just a great bunch, a great pick. I believe if we were gonna do 1 player per team, I don't know. Honestly, who would I pick if we were going to do 1 player per team? Who would we pick? I would.
For Cynical, I mean, not just because he's in the party, but Zaps. I mean, the guy played in. I mean, what can't you say about him? Played absolutely out of his mind during the playoffs. For Informal, I didn't get to watch much Informal. I assume Ivane played very well.
I'd give it to Ivane. Ivane was really.
Ivane, obviously.
He really won them their matches versus AS1. Flashfire was struggling versus AS1 heavily, and Ivane he was dropping 40s. He's just an insane player.
Very, very strong. So AS1 then? Probably Nasty, right?
Nasty or Repeak. I'd personally give mine to Repeak because, well, no bias because.
Me too. I think Repeak was playing incredible. Yeah. Same with Nasty though. It's very hard to specifically say. I mean, honestly, that AS1 squad, when I watched them play Hyper's team, whoever, I forgot the org that they were under.
Energized HQ.
You can help me out. Yeah, when they played Energized, I mean, Gan was incredible. I would say Gan or Bilge for me on the side of Energized. But, like, when I was watching them, the people that were going huge, Nasty played incredibly well, although I'm pretty sure he had one very slow hard point. I do remember that. And then Repeak was playing very, very well. I probably would have to give my MVP to Repeak also. Nasty obviously played out of his mind. MVP for Energized, gonna have to go with Gan. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, the guy had a 1.6 into both hard points that I watched at least. Just the guy played out of his mind. Very, very good player. And then what were some other teams that were there?
What, in playoffs?
Yeah.
Or well, we have Informal GG, which was Crixus, Vertigo, Debitry, and Half One.
I actually didn't get to watch any of those matches, so I can't tell you who played very well during those matches, but
if I were to pick someone from Informal GG to be on my All-Star team, I'd probably pick Vertigo. Yes, he has the notion he likes to flank a lot, but he's just a great player.
I mean, yeah, on this Xbox community, who doesn't flank a lot, right? I mean, very, very...
Adam throwing shots.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just sort of fact. But anyways, regardless, sorry, don't take that the wrong way. Or do. I don't really know. I don't really care. Anyways, so I feel like we've sort of talked about that topic quite a lot. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I'm gonna do my All-Star team. So if I were to do my All-Star team, I'm not going to pick myself. I'm actually going to give my All-Star to Yaffy. He played fucking insane for us all through playoffs, all through everything. Yaffy was usually always on top. If not, it was me or Brady. Yaffy is basically our savior. When we need something to happen, it's usually Yaffy that does it. I give my all-star from Cynical to Yaffy. I give my all-star from Informal Red to Ivane. I give my third spot to Repeat, not just because he's my son, but because he's a main player. And if I'm going with a fourth, I'm picking Vertigo off of Informal GG.
My list is pretty similar to yours. I'd say, since I'm not gonna be as good as you about it, I would say I'll probably give it to Zaps for Cynical. But again, also all three of the guys on Cynical, Brady, Gaffy, Zaps, they played out of their minds. Like all three of them. Like I could have given it to any of you guys. You guys just played very, very well. And then from Informal, I'm probably gonna have to go with Repeat. I mean, no, sorry. I meant AS1. For AS1, I'm probably gonna have to go with Repeat as well. Informal's a tough one for me because I feel like it's split between two players. Informal could either be. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't even know if I'm talking about the right. Informal is Crixus' team, right?
There's Informal Red, which is /5's team, and Informal GG, which is Crixus' team.
I was talking about Informal GG. So Informal GG, I probably have to give it to. I'll give it a Vertigo just because I do agree with Zaps. He's very, very talented. I thought, at least in my opinion, from what I saw, Crixus played very well as well. Both those guys, very, very talented COD players. And then coming off Informal Red, right?
Yes.
I'll probably have to give it to who you gave it to. /5 I saw was struggling every once in a while. Ivane just played out of his mind. Very, very talented player. I can't say it enough. All these players are so, so talented. So yeah, that'd probably be my squad. The only difference, I guess, is I have you on that team instead of Yaffy.
And actually, one more thing I just realized while scrolling through Twitter, because, sometimes that's where I look for motivation, is Creature Esports has come back. And recently, after they left,
remind me who that squad is.
Well, that roster used to consist of Zelgi, Zuki, Raze, and I don't remember their fourth, to be honest. Well,
so I saw Zuki play with Energize, correct?
AS1. Let's AS1.
Sorry, yeah, AS1. Zuki, I remember, he would struggle a little bit in hard points, but I think it was a Search and Destroy, where the guy just went off.
That was actually...
or no!
That was Hulk. Hulk is the S&D star on AS1.
No, I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't Hulk.
No, it wasn't. Hulk was actually their S&D star. He's amazing at S&D. Love the dude.
No, but it wasn't for the series that I'm talking about.
Oh. That was most likely Repeat.
Definitely wasn't.
Nah, Zuki...
No, it wasn't Repeat either.
No offense to Zuki, but he's never been good at S&D. S&D's always been his weak. Yeah, whatever. But...
Well, now I have to remember who it was. I mean, who else is on that squad that played Energized?
Nasty.
There we go. It had to have been Nasty. It had to have been Nasty.
Well,
I remember...
believe
No!
Zuki,
No, I'm dumb. No, because... No. Shut up. Energized is the one that won the S&D. So I'm thinking of a guy from Energized.
Gone, Bilge, Viper, and...
It was whoever their fourth was.
Alright, well... We'll get off that topic actually now, but I believe Zelgi and Zuki are looking for two. Zelgi, very controversial player, I guess you could say, coming back from PS4. Caused a lot of controversy in the past. He had a very dramatic exit from Season 3. He had some very choice words for some people. I don't know if I should repeat those words, but yeah.
Yeah, well, interesting, Zaps, because I actually have a source DMing me right now.
Hey, who's this?
What's
this source saying?
My source is telling me that, I mean, they could actually be trolling. I wouldn't put it past the specific source that I have. But I am hearing that Preacher Esports, the guys that you actually just talked about, are looking at Doughboy.
That could be possible. I mean, he's not a bad player. I mean, he just needs to be surrounded by the right players that allow him to play his play style, which is maybe something I believe he struggled with us. He played really well when I began to play the hill more and allowed him to roam out, because we kind of confined him to the hill bitch term. We really kind of forced him to like 2.5 minutes in hill. Maybe that's what caused him to struggle a bit, but it's possible.
But I don't know. I love it. I love these sources, guys. You want to just hit me with information that I have no idea about? Go right ahead.
Actually, I will talk to the Scrims chat right now and figure out what stuff is happening right now. I know Omega Gaming, consisting of Raba and I don't know who their second is. I think it's Subcrane, but who knows? I think Raba may be by himself. I believe they're looking for a team. Raba, an insanely talented player. Another player.
Raba's very, very good.
Another player with some controversy behind them, but who doesn't have controversy at this point? We will ask.
Raba? Wait, you just said somebody doesn't have controversy at this point. Who, Raba?
Yeah. Raba has some controversy.
Right.
Who doesn't have controversy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hell, somehow I have controversy. The lonely caster.
I know Bruise Esports they have a nation team now. They're looking for players, I believe. No offense to them, but I popped in their stream. I believe it was like Fruct to Goob and all them. I love Fruct, dude, but my God, were they arguing? They looked really, really weak. Like, they looked probably one of the worst I've seen from a team, and they were arguing a lot. So I believe that that's a team that we should see make a roster change.
Yeah, make a change. I mean, the truth is, I think these next couple weeks will be where most of the changes happen. Because this is where all the summer leagues are starting.
Yeah, all the players are getting off. My source told me I should kill myself. Thanks, source. I know Gyaradox is coming back from his temporary break. Cool dude. Used to team with Brady.
Siggy's coming back as well, so we've got a couple of returnees.
Siggy, the quote-unquote high tier. Who had some choice words about him. But yeah. We have some players leaving, like Gon, I believe, is leaving for military training. So he'll be gone this summer. Always sad to see a great player like him leave.
Definitely. Prolix is playing though, so if you want to hit him up, now just playing, but not really. I need a team, please. Anyways, so
we know
while we're actually on that topic of conversation, why don't we actually have a talk about some possible rosters that could exist going into these next couple weeks?
That's something I have to think about, because I'm not too sure of who is a free agent. Everything obviously just speculation and rumors. Some people leave teams really quickly.
Yes, guys, let me preface this part of the podcast. This is all speculation and just us messing around.
Yes, because
none of this is confirmed true.
I'd like to see a roster of Zuki, Zelagy, INV Shade, and Arius, I believe.
Raba. I think Raba would be a fun addition to that roster.
I don't think Raba gets along with them, so that's why I don't put him on there. Another roster we could see, I potentially knew from my inside source, Doughboy, obviously I'm still friends with him, is it was going to be him, Dubjub, oh, I just dropped off my armor like an idiot, but him, Dubjub, Umo, and I do not remember their fourth, but I don't think that roster is going to happen anymore due to Trevor still being friends with me and Dubjub hating my guts because I'm better than him, but that's another story for another day.
Okay.
Okay, I must get turned on.
All right, so
Um,
we've talked about that, so
some
that's out of
teams.
the way.
Let's talk about some teams we need to change. I believe. Adam, if you'd like, you could still go to the Kinetic League's Twitter and you can find out the standings.
So we have Bruise Esports.
Um,
Obviously a team that may need to change
I know we
going
have
forward.
Upsurge GG, I believe, has a roster, or well, whatever roster Calvo CWL was on. Talk about them. The X roster of what was Jay's old roster? It was him. It consists of Roshi, Maynard, Deegan, and I cannot remember their fourth. They were a good roster, but they broke up after SPCL. Oh, that's another league, SPCL league. We could see that. They ran a really well league. Omega Gaming took that league. Probably like it was like 16 teams in. None of the top teams we mentioned, but not to discredit them, but they played an amazing. It's up to them a couple times. That's another week that's coming up this summer we could look out for. So I'll pull up KL standings on my phone right now, actually. Adam, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just
Oh.
just chilling. Trying to figure out why I'm going negative in a pub. Sniping, chilling, having a good time.
Okay, I lied. Rob took the thing out of his bio, so I can no longer find it. But I believe I remember some rosters actually.
So, what rosters do you believe are the standing kings?
As in like, trying to think. I know Mafia Esports used to have a roster that was consisted of Sabotage, Drex, Booth Boys, and Nokri. I believe that roster has since split due to turmoil inside of both the org itself and the roster. So all four of those players, I believe, are free agents. I know Savvy is constantly looking for team. I see him asking all the time.
Yep. What other questions do you have on that on the list? I sort of forgot.
Our last topic is impressions that were made on us during playoffs. So I'm gonna pull up KO brackets for playoffs, and we could just talk about what we saw from each team, and I can name their rosters.
Yeah.
Cause I
mean,
too have watched all their games. I believe Adam is lagging. Adam went into game chat.
yeah. I mean, we went in depth about this. I mean, in depth, whatever. We went in depth about this earlier, but I mean, we could just start with the teams that we know.
Alright,
so we
so
got Cynical.
I have the entire bracket right now, actually.
Oh, that works.
So we have our round one with Cynical versus XGK. That was a 3-0 to Cynical. I believe that roster consisted of Raven, like that calling card. Bane's US.
I believe that was Bane, Job Q,
No.
Raven,
and John. That's a
Yes.
roster that's since split. I don't know what's happening with Raven. I believe he's a free agent. I think they're all a free agent. Job Q, thrown out of the community. We're not going to repeat his choice of words to someone because I'm not trying to have this video removed. Next we have Informal Red and Extract. Informal Red.
I know the Informal Red roster. What's the Extract roster?
The Extract roster at the time was Scumbag Protocol, Synthetic, Daddy Era, and God Nuns.
So I will say that's a team. That's a roster of very talented players. I'm confused. I'm surprised we didn't hear about them later in the tournament. Do you have any idea what ended up happening to them?
Well, I'm not trying to bash anyone here. I'm just going to see this from my point of view. That roster had some serious issues. They had a lot of issues. They had issues practicing. 3 of them loved playing PO2 or S&D all damn day. They refused to practice. They had no true OBJ
Mm.
or teamwork. It usually that entire roster usually required Scumbag to drop RC8s and Wardens, and even that wasn't enough to win games sometimes. Uh,
Mhm.
Synthetic was just he was a really cocky player, so I believe after we 3-0'd them, I believe he quit.
Yeah. What I do know is I know Scumbag Protocol is incredible. I know he's a very, very talented player.
Yeah, he's a great player. Great attitude. Just maybe he needs to work on maybe his teamwork a little bit more and helping his team, but that's about it. Insane shot. He plays
Do
8-8.
you have any info on where he is right now?
I believe he's with Team Dust. I'm not sure who their current roster is. I believe he may be on PS4 actually.
Oh, good for him. He's making moves in his career. Making moves. But here we are talking about Xbox COD, so
yeah.
we're not worried about him.
Nuns, I believe, has transitioned back to an S&D star. I saw him in the 4v4 variant tourney this weekend. We're not going to talk about it. Kids are scumbags in that tournament. Don't forfeit when you're about to get too old. So, Nuns, I believe, is a free agent. I still believe he just plays S&D all day. I don't know. Daddy Era, I believe, does the same. And Synthetic, I don't know where that kid is. And I don't really care for him. So. Next up, we have Informal GG and As1 Gaming. So, the Informal GG roster is still the same as stated earlier in the video. Do you remember the roster, or do I have to repeat it?
No, the Informal GG roster is Crixus, Vertigo, and 2 other people.
Savatree and Half Olympian. Actually,
There we go.
I'm not inclined to speak on this, as my source has told me this is not to be released publicly yet. But I believe there's something that could happen with that roster.
So you just spoke on it.
Yes, but I'm not exposing anyone, so.
Alright, well, we can dream. But, anyways. So, but with that roster in mind,
I think that's
what am I trying to say? I don't know why I just
that's a
blanked.
roster.
Well, with that roster in mind, anyways.
The sky's the limit for that roster. It all just comes down to dedication, teamwork. I think if they learn to control their attitudes and egos maybe a little bit better, I think they'll be a great roster. I think their egos and attitudes will really get to them. They argue a lot after losses. Like, I know.
Yep.
Not trying to float my own boat here, but they called us all trash, and after we 3-0'd them, there was hell breaking loose inside of their call. I think that's something maybe if they control their attitudes a little bit better, they won't have as many arguments.
And the truth is, like, not to be rude or anything, but that was something I always said about Cynical. Like, sometimes when these guys lose, a lot of people on Xbox, like, they can sort of lose full.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
Yeah. Losing, it's not something that's uncommon. I think it's it really comes down to your teammates and how you react with one another. Like, a lot of our comeback versus Informal, the 0-2 sweep that we had to reverse sweep them in second series of grand finals, I credit that all to Brady. He is literally the only thing that kept us. Actually, well, I kept full because of boost. We had a whole win it for boost thing, just me. He was really my motivation, but Brady kept our entire team composed by the whole Warriors joke. He lightened the mood while we were all kind of pissed off that we were down 0-2 and all the bullshit that was happening. So, I think it all comes down to your teammates.
I think every team needs that one player that can just get them back in the mood.
I'm trying to think what else I can say here.
And then keep going down the bracket. So we had that match. We should probably also say the scores of those matches just to make sure people know.
That was 3-2 in the favor of AS1 Gaming.
Yep.
This was before
AS1 obviously very talented. They went pretty far in the bracket.
Yeah, that was before the roster changed. That roster consisted of Hulk, Melts, Nuzzy, great friend of mine, Nasty, and Repeat. Snuzzy has such less of a team due to arguments. The next matchup we have is Energized and Mafia. So, I believe that was a 3-0 to Energized. and a whooping in that fashion. Um,
Yep. So Energize obviously came out pretty talented. They obviously dropped. I just think like a lot of teams on Xbox, but especially Energize, they're one of those teams that like when they lose that first series, I feel like they just sort of lose full. They start to blame people, and they really just forget to keep their head in the game. And I think that happens with a lot of teams, but I feel like that definitely happened in this situation specifically with that team.
yeah. So I believe I have the map scores for that series actually right now. I'll check. 250 to 178 is the hard point in favor of Energize HQ. 6-2 was the S&D, and the uplink was a whopping 43-4. So
Wow. Wow. 43-4. And honestly, I have to attribute some success like that. Honestly, like I didn't watch the entire series, but I know when I was watching Energize play, Jesus Christ, Gon was a god. He was winning all of his gunfights. He was trading efficiently. He was single-handedly keeping them in respawns. Like I remember, I would watch those playoff matches and those league matches in general, and uh, that Energized squad, like maybe 2 or 3 people were going pretty negative, and then just have gone dropping like a 1.7, just single-handedly keeping his team in the game. It's insane. The stuff that some guys can do.
so actually, now that you mention that, that reminds me of make a topic I like to talk about is what is the difference between like Xbox and PS4 players? As in, we really don't see that positive like gameplay out of PS4 players. We don't see PS4 players go insanely like net positive. Can we contribute that to maybe more talent on the PS4, or maybe just individual teamwork and trading is better there?
I think the problem is that PS4 guys, they definitely play a lot different. I think that a lot of Xbox guys, and Xbox in general, have a couple players that are just like, and I don't mean to talk bad about anyone, but a couple specific players that are just marginally better than the rest. And I don't say that to talk bad about other players, but it's just true. A couple players on Xbox are much, much better than others, and that's just how it's always been on Xbox. It's been like that since the Black Ops 3 season. It's just, that's one of those phenomena that is specific to Xbox. And I think I definitely think part of it is that, yes, obviously, I think PS4, like, between the consoles, they play very different. PS4, there are obviously more competitive players on PS4 since it is the sponsored station. Um, I'm not specifically sure exactly why one guy will do so well in a hard point, and a bunch of guys would go like maybe 1 to 2 positive or 1 to 2 negative on PS4 consistently. But the fact of the matter is that on Xbox, there's just the skill gap is a lot higher, where you have a couple players that are so good, and then you have some players that are not as good. Xbox is very rocky. It's very back and forth like that. It's very scrappy. Um, it's definitely not as stable as something like PS4 is, where you have a bunch of players that are around the same skill level. And for the most part on PS4, they like to stay together. On Xbox One, you have a lot of more branching out. You have some of the players that aren't as good playing with some players that are really good, just trying to get better. Xbox has that type of thing where a lot of players just have the grind and they want to get better. PS4 does not have as much of that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Um,
You have a thought on it?
I think the biggest issue we have right now in Xbox, to be completely honest, is the backwards compatibility is killing us. We have the IW players that play BO3. We have the IW kids that play IW. We have the kids that play BO2 now. We have the kids that play BO3. I see kids playing
Modern
Ghost.
Warfare Remastered.
We have kids playing like there is 6 different games that we see people consistently playing on the Xbox. That it's not like the PS4 where we consistently see IW, 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 everyone going. And I think that just attributes to the skill gap that not everyone's putting in the same time as others. I think the top players are the ones that are putting in the most time, and they're the reason why they're better. Obviously, some people are just naturally gifted and naturally better than others, but
Mhm.
and
Well, yeah.
what I actually
Um.
have to talk about is maybe just some impressions from personal players I saw on each team. So I'm gonna go through the list. I'm gonna say who I think was the best in our team and why. Adam, I'm not. You probably can't talk about this because I don't think you saw too much about it.
No, I don't. I didn't. So you're just gonna have to talk. I'll add in some stuff
All right.
as I see
So
fit.
cynical. Mostly through playoffs would be Yaffe. Obviously, most people would say me. That's just probably a popularity contest. Honestly, I think Yaffe played a lot better than me in basically everything except for finals. I really think I exploded. But my give to cynical is Yaffe. My give to XGK is I'm going to give that to Raven. Raven plays well. He doesn't get the credit he deserves for anything he does. It doesn't matter if Raven goes 35-2 versus the top
I
team.
agree. I
He's going
agree.
to be hated.
Raven's very, very talented.
I think he's just a player that he's not given the love and respect he's needed. He really impresses me because he reminds me a lot of myself. He plays for the team and not himself. He's not a kill whore. That's why I think Raven's good. What's hiding this pup quick? Oh, never mind. I died anyways.
And also, he played very well teaming with a guy like, and I hate to be rude, but to team with a guy like JobQ.
Yeah.
And still be able to put up the numbers that he put up. I mean, JobQ, to put it nicely, was a killer.
Yeah,
and he definitely cared a lot about his kills, and he valued
lives.
his life a lot. I'm not saying that's always a bad thing, because a lot of players are like that. Players like Zuma, very life-dependent, values their life a lot. But a guy like Raven, that wasn't a part of his gameplay. He just got his kills and he moved on. That was what he was really good at, and I really do respect that about a player like Raven. He didn't care about the kills. He just wanted to win the map, and in the end, I appreciate that and respect it from a guy like Raven. I remember still some of the coolest moments that I've had is on Xbox for this game is when me and Raven would play 1v1 uplinks, and he would just teach me ones. Like, that's just the type of player he is. He knows all the things. He knows the kinks. He's going to win you the map, and he's going to do it in a way that no other player would see it. Very, very talented player. I respect him a lot.
My give to Informer Red would be obviously Ivane. I think he just, not only because he's just good, he pulls things off that shouldn't be physically possible. He is...
He's a playmaker, man.
Yeah,
he is a playmaker. I would say... So this is what I'll say, Zaps, and you can agree or disagree, but I will make the claim that Ivane is the best player, not individually necessarily, but I would say Ivane is the best player that when he heats up, he heats up.
Yeah. When he heats up, he's really hard to stop. Like, he had a 1v4 versus us in finals that was fucking insane. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, it's just when he if you put an RPR in his hands, you better just run. Honestly, he 3-piece.
Scary things happen.
It was a 3-piece instead of a bomb on breakout. It was scary. So my give goes to Ivane. He does everything needed for the team. He doesn't always put in the most hill time. He is the one always picking up cuts. He picks up the cuts, holding spawns. He does everything they need him to do.
He's the guy that helps him get the wins.
My next would be it is Extract Esports, and I'm just going to give that the Scumbag Protocol. The fact he had them at 13-0 at one point blows my mind with how, not to be disrespectful, but how awful that team was. That team consisted of 2 idiots and a moderately decent player who I respect. Sheer amount of times he dropped 50, yeah, maybe still whoring, maybe he had 10 seconds in hill, but with a team like that, you kind of have to. So, the amount of times he dropped 50 for the win really impresses me. If we're going to talk later on in playoffs, Extract had a roster change due to that entire roster putting up and leaving, and it consisted of Maximus, NX, NPoo, Demo, and Audoxity, but all, often played mostly for him due to he had schooling and other things. And my give would go to Maximus. Insane player,
My
great
own
dude,
bombardment just killed me.
great dude. He's also Felony's cousin, so
Oh,
Dr.
interesting.
Fellow.
I never knew that.
Yeah, learned that thanks to that guy Doughboy. Teamed with him back in AW.
Felony, if you watch this, make a change. Bryce, Looney has to go. Anyways,
Pick up Gunless for Looney. Your owner is an NFL player. He can afford it.
dude, that'd be genius, but they won't do it because they're scared of roster changes this year. Anyways, I think, that basically sums it up. You've got a couple more rosters, I assume, that you want to touch on.
Informal GG, so my all-star would go to
You
Vertigo.
already mentioned that.
Oh, no, informal
Yeah,
GG.
Vertigo.
But it would actually go to
No,
Crixus.
but you said Vertigo.
Yeah, for my all-star team.
Oh,
Informal
but
GG.
your MVP's different?
Yeah, my MVP for that team is Crixus. Though I hate him, and he pisses me off, I'm going to give it to him. He is literally what does everything for that team. Tops the hill, he holds spawns, picks up the big kills in S&D. He is the cloister of that team. He keeps that team really hype. He is their main factor of success. So I give my MVP in that team to Crixus. I give my all-star to Vertigo. Crixus gets my MVP. Next roster is As One Gaming.
Which is
Nasty. Once again, repeat maybe in my all-star team, and I'm going to go with Nasty. He is the anchor. He's the one you consistently can count on to do good. Yes, maybe he has one or two struggling games, but he is always the consistent player on that team. That and his voice is amazing.
Maybe, if that's your opinion.
That and his voice is amazing. Nasty, if you're watching this, I need a recording of your voice.
Alright. So, any more teams?
We have Energized and Mafia. So, Energized, I give mine obviously to Gone. I think we both can agree on that. There's not much else to say. Gone, just straight animal. And Mafia Esports. This was tough because their roster kept having a lot of issues and a lot of changes, but their set roster, I give my MVP to Booth Boys. He's the most consistent on that roster. Yes, he tilted a lot quicker than everyone else, but I would be upset too. So yeah, I think that's everything.
So, I think we are going to end it here. Final thoughts?
Watch out for those big leagues. KL, Aporia Circuit, Vulcan's OLT. Make sure you sign up for that league. I'm telling you, make sure you sign up. You're going to see top competition, top casters, top everything. You're going to have stats, you name it.
We're planning on doing all-star games, big payouts. I'm hyped, you're hyped, everyone's hyped.
So, with that, this is Papa Zaps signing off.
Yeah.
Adam, sign off.